3, 2. Okay, I got the paperwork, the permit from my town. It was $192. That's pretty cheap for an electrician, so they're going to come by and look at my work. But there is one stipulation. I have a 60 amp breaker here, and they want me to use a 50 amp breaker. Reason why I used a 60 amp breaker is I thought in the future I would hook up a Tesla connector. The Tesla connector requires a 60 amp breaker so that you can use 42 amps to charge the car. The other thing though is it requires a 60 amp breaker without GFCI, so I don't need the ground fault circuit interrupt. So this here requires me to get a 50 amp, so that's too big. So I bought a 50 amp breaker, and I'm going to show you how to pop it in there. This has GFCI. I'd rather have the ground fault circuit interrupt in the garage just in case it gets wet or there's any puddling in the garage or whatever. So I'd rather get the GFCI. So it says 50 amps. So as long as you put the 50 amp breaker in, I should be okay. So we got to remove this 60 amp GFI and put in the 50 amp GFCI. So we're gonna remove this as fast as I can. Got to take the cover off of the panel. Take it off without popping off anything. Alright, so this is the breaker I got to take out. So we're going to turn it off, and we have to disconnect the wiring to it. So here's my regular screwdriver. So we just simply unhook the screws. Remember, this red is 120 volts. This is the neutral going to the car. This is black. So these are 220 volts going out to the car. This has to be disconnected because this is the neutral from the breaker to the neutral bus bar. This has to be taken off too. Might need a bigger screwdriver for that. So here you can see the neutral is connected to the bus bar. We got to remove that as well. So once you pull out all these wires, it's very easy to pop out the breaker. The only thing is these wires are like crowbars. Alright, so there's the wire, and then we take out the neutral wire. Okay, now to remove this breaker, everything is off. To remove this breaker, we just pull it out. I think that's the way we remove it, right? There we go. Alright, see, that just pops right out. Here's the new one. So the new one, we just hook onto the, there's a foot right here. This thing goes right in this spot here against these feet. You gotta search for the feet and get it in there. There we go. Now that's seated, and there. Okay, so that's in, this is off. This would be on. So now we have to, this is the neutral. We're going to have to work this wire back into this place. We're going to have to pop these into here, and then we should be back in business. So red wire back in here. Alright, so as you can see, the red wire is in. I don't want to lose this screw. And we're going to tighten the heck out of it. Now we're going to put the middle neutral wire in the middle area. that goes over here. Again, I don't want this screw popping out. There. Alright, as you can see, that slid right in there. We're almost done. Make sure these wires are tight. Alright, I'll get this one into this bottom one. This is another 120 volt wire. Oh, almost in there. There it is. It slipped right in. Okay. Alright. That's in there. That's not going anywhere. Alright, so this is the last wire we had to get. This wire, which is the neutral. So the electricity would come from both legs into this breaker. 120 volts in the red, 120 volts in the black. Goes to the car, and the return is neutral, return to this breaker through the ground fault circuit interrupt, and then it comes to the neutral wire, which is hooked onto there. That's returning the electricity. So I gotta cut this wire. I gotta find my cutter. Here's my wire cutter. So this is already stripped, so I just had to cut it. Okay. So this little piece, I have to get into this neutral spot here. I have to fit it right in here as best I can. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that, Matt? I think I'm going to need a needle nose pliers to do it. Or not a needle nose pliers. I'll just use a screwdriver to feed it in. Let's see, which one did I put that in? Alright, I think I had it in this one. Let me use the big screwdriver. Yeah, I think I had it in this one. Oh, it's just a big wire. There, okay. So see how that slips right in? And then we just tighten this screw. Tighten that guy real tight. You want to flatten it. Alright, and that's it. That's the installation, and we turn it on. Hopefully no sparks happen. There it is, so it works. Meanwhile, I'm going to return this, and that's it. We're all set. We're done. The breaker is in. Everything's turned on, and these are nice and tight. So that's fine. We're back up, and we'll put this back on hopefully without tripping any of the breakers. Just got to be careful that you don't pop any of these. So that's it. There's our breaker hooked in for the Tesla charger. So again, to pop it in there, these little feet have to go in go in first, and it pops like that. In order to take the breaker out, you gotta pull it this way and then unseat it. So going back in, you put the feet in first, pop it in like that. To take it out, unhook it like that, and it'll fly right. It'll unseat itself. So this is the 60 amp. We don't need that much. We don't need that much power. So now that I've completed this, I'm going to have the town come in and check everything, and we'll see if I pass. That'll be the rough inspection, and if everything is okay, they will sign off and give me a little certificate like this, and that'll be the final inspection. Okay, let's hope for the best. Thank you.